Financing rental houses the right way. Hey gang, this is Mike with no-fluff.com, and in today's class I'm going to talk about 3 ways to finance rental properties. So without any further delay, let's dive in. Okay. I wanted to let you know that the third option is my favorite option, so you want to hold on to the very end to find out the best way. Okay, my favorite way. Okay. The other thing I want to tell you that in this class, I'm going to talk about what are the 3 ways to finance rental houses the right way. Okay, how to come up with the money or how to come up with the financing for all 3 ways, and the processes that it takes to go to get this money. All right. Um, and I already told you the secret, which was my favorite way, which is the third one. So without any further delay, let's get started, guys. All right. The first way to finance rental houses the right way is what I call the 20% down option. Okay. And with the 20% down, the way it works is this is you, and you go to a bank, all right, and this bank is going to require a couple of things from you, 3 things to be honest with you, and a bunch more, but to simplify it, 3 things. They are going to look for what I call your credit, CC. Let me fix that so it looks a little better instead of a S. CC, your credit um, number. Next thing they're going to look at is uh, money you have, okay, in savings, and the money you make, your cash flow, cash. So those are 2 things they're going to look for. And the third thing they're going to look for is what's called your debt to income ratio. All right. So those are the 3 things they're going to look for. Okay. And they're looking for your debt to income ratio because they want to make sure that you can afford the monthly payments to them whenever you get indebted to them. So they want to make sure that that's possible, and they want to make sure that you have, again, the monthly payments plus the down payment that's required to get this property. And lastly, they want to look at your credit to see, hey, if you're going to be a good candidate for them to lend you the money, or what I say is to enslave you. Okay, so that's the procedure. So you come here, you go to the bank. You give them all this stuff, and then what's going to happen is they're going to have you sign a marathon of documents. We'll just call it paperwork, right? And then they'll give you, like, a piece of paper, another piece of paper, and then you take that piece of paper to a realtor or real estate agent, okay? And you guys go shopping for a house. And now I would say like 50% of investors, 60% of investors do it that way. Okay, this is the traditional way. So you take that, and you have shows that you can have money, or if you're going to buy a house traditionally, this is the way you do it. Okay, so if you're just a average investor, or if you're a first-time homeowner, or if you're just an average person that buys a home, this is the traditional way. This is like, hey, go to high school, go to college, what have you. Okay, and so that's the path. Now let's talk about some of the pros and cons of this path, because that's pretty important. So the cons and the pros. The pros is that you get started making passive income, um, and you also get equity. You start building equity or wealth, let's just say, where you have a potential more than if you have a job. So you're now in a better situation. Okay, so those are the pros. All right, and the other pro is just easy, dude. I mean, most of you guys think, hey, borrowing money from a bank is hard. It's not that hard because there's a path. It's like a little path. Like you just have to follow it. It has to come, has some up, some down, but it's not like a jungle where you're gonna have all these trees you gotta chop off before you create your own paths. Does that make sense? So it's a proven path. It's like junior high, high school, college, then a cubicle or a job. Okay, so it's proven. It's pretty easy. Now the cons is that my first one is that you're getting into debt. Right, so you- you're getting into debt. So just remember that, and you're getting into debt with the bankers, or some people may say the devil. All right. The other problem is that you're signing in these all this paperwork over here that we talked about. Um, you're signing away a lot of your important rights. For example, you're going to be signing away that if you default, the bank can go after your credit. Okay, if you default, the bank can go after the house. Okay, the collateral, and that sounds fair, but as you'll see soon, some of the other options that I'm going to show you, the bank, the lender only goes after the house, not your credit, okay, not your personal credit, which is a traditional way investor or homeowner, when they buy a house, they sign a promissory note. It says, Mr. Bank, if I default, not only can you take the collateral, which in this case is the house and the down payment and all the monthly payments, all the equity that I built into it, but you also can come after me personally. Okay, so it's more of a risky um, observation from just from my standpoint. I'm not an attorney, I'm not a CPA, but just looking at things. Okay, but hey, again, it's easier. Like going to a restaurant and eating food. It's easier than going and consciously being aware about, hey, I got to put good food in my body and getting it from the nicer grocery store and then cooking it yourself. So taking care to heat it up correctly, etc. So yes, one is easier, but it has some cons with it. So the three cons that I want you to know is that you're going to get into debt. The bankers can come after you personally, and they're going to take the collateral. But and the other real bad con, is that there's only a certain amount of properties the bankers will let you. They want you to become a little successful, but not too much. They're not going to give you unlimited amount of 20% down. Okay, even if you can afford the 20% down, there's going to be a cap. You might be at 10. When you have 10 properties, that's it, or you might be at 3 or 5. Just depends, on the market as well. If the market is hot, in a sense that everyone's making money, bankers have loosened their lending, then it changes. If the market is tight, like a crash in 2006, fourth quarter, 2007, then the system freezes. So you have to think about all that. But there is a limit. Okay, usually people that are serious, they hit that limit pretty quick, and now they have no more funding. Okay, so there's a limit on how much you can borrow or finance. All right, so this is what I call the 20% option, and it's what's the traditional way of doing stuff. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with doing traditional, but I'm just pointing out that this is just a traditional way of doing stuff. All right, so let's go to number two, guys. All right, now the number two option is what I call a rollover over financing. Now, a rollover financing is a little more clever way of doing business. Okay, it's a little bit more smarter. So let me draw it in a simple essence. Okay, um, this is you, and let's talk about you're trying to plant a seed. Okay, so what happens is you have a seed in your hand. You're gonna put it in the ground. Next, what's gonna happen is this is you. The seed's in the ground. You're gonna start giving it water. Okay, and then you're gonna start again. This is the seed, giving it water. All right. And then what's going to happen is you're going to have to wait. All right. And then what's going to happen is you're going to wait some more and give water. care. And then one day you go out there and you have, instead of a seed, you have a little tree going on, and you keep going and you keep taking care of it, you keep giving it water, okay? And this thing gets bigger. And then one day again, you wake up and now your tree is giving fruit, right? And then what you do is you take this fruit and you eat it, and you take the seed, okay? You take the seed, okay? So you're going to eat the food. I don't know why I took a left. 1 second. All right. So what's going to happen is you're going to see here, you're going to eat the food, and the tree's still here. And you're going to say, you know what? Once you eat it, you're going to take the seed and you're going to throw that seed back into the ground. All right. And again, start the process all over. And now you're going to be, again, watering it. And then, again, waiting and so on. And so basically what happens is from here, you're going to go back and cycle here. That's why I call it a roll around. It's like a circle, okay? And what's basically happening is that you are taking a seed, you're taking care of it, or you're buying a house, okay? You're financing it the traditional number one way, okay? You're going here, you're getting your 20%. Okay, you're buying the house, and then you're taking care of that property, putting renters in there, bring the value up, etc. And then you have three options. You refinance the house. Okay, so your three options will be you're basically taking the seed, making it into a fruit, and then you're not selling the property, you're using that as a collateral to get more additional funds. And then for the next property, you do the same thing. It takes a while. There's a lot of waiting. There's a lot of take caring, baby. But you're not going getting new money. You're using that second collateral to get the third, and so on. Okay, and there's three ways to do that. Okay, there's three ways to after waiting to get it. The first one is to get a halo loan. Okay, which is a home equity loan. The other one is just get a revolving credit, a line of credit. Okay, which is like, hey, I'll pledge my property that has 50% equity or 60% of 200,000 or 100,000, whatever, for a line of credit, and you can use that money. Or the easiest way is to refinance it. Okay, let's say you bought it for 100, renters were in there, 3 years gone by, 2 years gone by, whatever, 5 years, 7, whatever, property value's going up, in a good hot area, the market is hot right now, and then you go refinance it for 130. And, of course, bankers will have appraisal, and the market is hot, there's not that much inventory, let's say, or there may be, whatever, but the market's still hot, there's a lot of demand, so it prices more. So now you can get your money out one way or another, okay, and still own the property, not kill the golden goose, okay. But it's very similar to this demonstration that I drew, because you are going to plant the seed, water it, wait it, water it, water it, water it, water it, get the fruit, eat it, put the seed in the ground, and then start over, okay, on house. So you're not going to be able to go out there and just get 20 properties instantly. Does that make sense? Like, yeah, I'm going to get a property a month. Okay, it's going to take you a while. Okay, so let's go to the pros and cons of this. So now that I showed you, so before I go into the pros and cons, I want to let you know that you're still dealing with the bank. So you're basically doing the strategy. Okay, but instead of more focusing on the cash flow, because it's not a commercial property, or your credit, they're looking at the collateral, okay, versus your credit as much. I mean, they're still going to look at it, because unless you're getting it as a business loan, or if you're getting it as a personal loan, but you're not going to be able to get too many personal loans, because unless you live in the property. Does that make sense? So you might get your first property, but your second and third are going to be non-occupant living, so you're not going to live in the property, so interest rate's going to go up. So it's going to be commercial, but when I'm thinking about commercial, is like borrowing a big sum of money, or getting a big sum of line of credit, and then you can do whatever you want with it. Okay, all right. Now let's talk about the pros and the cons of rolling it over. Okay. One of the pros is you could take that, let's say, that one time 100K, just to make it simple, and you can recycle it over and over and over and over because instead of hitting your cap, okay? Or the other thing is you're not killing the golden egg, okay? The chicken, whatever, all right? Because if you wanted to buy another property, uh, in this situation, you might have to sell it to get your money, so you're not killing it, okay? Now the cons are, man, again, you're getting into debt with what I call the devil, which is the bankers. All right. And the other problem is you have to usually over leverage, which means that, man, if the market changes, you're going to be in a very risky situation. If you don't have great cash flow, you're going to be in tip top situation, and it's a very bad situation just to constantly do that. Okay. Um, the other good news on this side is you don't have to put that 20% down every time. Okay, you don't have to put so much down because you're already using, you know, your collateral. Okay, or you're refinancing it out. Okay. Um, and getting fresh money. But again, that makes you over leveraged. I'm not sure what your personal goal is. Is your goal to just have a lot of properties and be in debt the rest of your life? Or if your goal is to have a lot of properties and have them debt free, where whatever money they spit off, you get to keep majority of it minus Uncle Sam, of course, and insurance, right? So that's something that you have to decide. Many people that teach, even some of my heroes, believe that that is the best way to go. And over leveraging because our society is based on debt, and I agree with all that. But I personally don't want to have a master. I don't want to have a chain. I don't want anyone to tell me what I can do. And because I was debt free, I was able to just let go of everything I owned and do the next thing of my life. But if I had debt and I had to make these vendors rich over and over, I would have no options to or choices. I would be squeezed in like an orange, when forced. And I don't want that. I want to have freedom. So, but I don't like to get in debt. And if I do, I want to talk about getting in debt with owners direct, not the bankers, with other human beings are just like me. Okay. All right. So that is some of the pros and cons of, rolling over financing. You're basically still dealing with the bank, but you don't have to come up with the 20% every time. And then it may help you with not hitting that limit because you have things that actually have value. But it does take a while because you have to go through this whole process, okay, before you can get another property. Okay. All right. Now, the third way, as I let out the secret to you guys, is my favorite way, and that's the Mr. No Fluff way. And what is the Mr. No Fluff way, guys? What is the Mr. No Fluff? I'll tell you right now. Okay, the Mr. No Fluff way is where that's me. Okay, and I deal with the homeowners direct. Okay, the sellers, the homeowners. Okay, now when I do this, I'm doing two things. Okay? I'm getting the inventory for the house, and I'm also working on the financing with the seller. Where these two options that I just showed you, number one and the two, you're only dealing with the money. This is you, and this is the money. Once this is approved, then you go look for a house. Or I should just say, then you go look for a house or inventory. All right, number one and number two. Now, with number three, I'm doing all of it at one stop. Okay, I'm working with the seller direct for the financing because I'm gonna have the seller finance me. Okay, the property doesn't matter if it's residential or commercial. Okay, commercial happens a lot easier than residential. Okay, um, for many reasons. If you'd like to know why, I could do a video for you guys. Now, when I do the Mr. No Fluff way, not only am I dealing with the financing directly with the home seller, I'm also getting the inventory directly from the home seller. So I'm doing two things in one. Okay. Now the way I deal with this is I buy houses from people called motivated sellers. Motivated sellers. I'm not gonna write it down, but just remember it's motivated sellers. And who are motivated sellers? Motivated sellers are people that go to the pawn shop or need money and they sell their stuff on Craigslist or offer up or things of that nature. Okay, and in real estate, I'm the pawn shop. I don't buy homes from people that just want to test the waters or people that want to sell it for top dollars. I buy from homes from people that have problems. Now, it can have it be a property problems, it can be emotional problems, or it can be a financial problems. It doesn't matter. But buy from. I solve people's problems. Okay, and that's who my target audience is. So when I deal with motivated sellers, there's a variety of different types of motivated sellers, from anywhere from death in the family to loss of job or behind on payments, okay, or they go into a divorce, right? And the way I find these home sellers is not I go from here to a bank, and from a bank, they give me a little paper. I take the paper pre-approved to a realtor, a real estate agent. Okay, from that, we go look at houses and houses and houses, and I pick one. I don't, and then I go to the bank and sign a lot of papers, and then you know those bad things happen to me. I have to sign a promissory note where I have to basically sign my life away. If I default, they could hurt my credit, come after me, etc. And I have to give up my house if I default. If I get sick and I have 30% equity, 40%, 15%, they get to keep it. And then once that all happens, then they'll give me and my family the house to go into. Okay, family will go in there. Okay, that's a traditional way. Um, I don't do it that way. Okay, the way I do it is this is me. Right. And the way I want to find the motivated sellers is like the way I guys teach you guys on my blog or my podcast or in my free book at mrnofluff.com. Go check it out. It's free, no shipping, totally for free, not fake free. Okay. So the way I do it is I do what's called marketing to a pool or ocean of motivated home sellers. Okay. And what happens is one of these guys may see my flyer or my ad and they will call me. And then what I do is I use something called my Ninja seller phone script to filter them out, to gauge their motivation. Okay. And then after that, I give offers for not just a deep discount, which I do. I give them an offer to buy the house at a deep discount, but I also give owner financing offers, all right, to the seller. And if the seller is willing to sell me their home at 50 cents on a dollar, 40 cents, 60 cents, then I'll give them cash. But if not, then we can do some kind of owner financing. Now, if you guys like to know more about this, I highly recommend going to mrnofluff.com and checking out. It's called the Mother course. Now, with this course, the course is expensive. It's $1,500, guys. Okay, and I understand that is expensive, but it's going to help you, eliminate all this stuff. Okay, because I haven't even got into it. Okay, on the Mother course, and on top of that, you do get free coaching because I want to help you get your home. If you're a first-time homeowner and you want to buy a house for yourself, I want to help you do that. And if you're willing to get on YouTube and give us your success story. If you're a wholesaler, I'm willing to help you do that. If you're a fix and flipper, I'm helping you do that. It doesn't matter if you're a buy and hold guy, you're a rental landlord. I can help you do that. Get this way of financing, guys. Okay, because I haven't gone to the pros. But what I was saying is, what I do is this is me. I do the marketing They call, I do the filtering, I give offers, I give cash offers, and I give owner financing offers, and then I own the house. If you want to know how to do that, go to Mr. No Fluff, get my free book. Kind of explains exactly the different pools that our motivated sellers are in. And then if you want more, get my mother course. It's 171 chapters, tons of training videos, and on top of that, $25,000 coaching that I waive to help you be your dreams, guys. All right. Now let's talk about the pros and the cons, guys. Okay, the pros and the cons. Pros and the cons, guys. By the way, I'm coming up with education on demand, where I'm going to give you tons of library of videos from cold calling to owner financing, how to give offers. I'm going to have some of my courses in there for just a low monthly fee of $19 a month, guys. Okay, unbelievable. So if you have Netflix, you're just consuming, but this change your life. And the goal is to help you guys do deals and give you the support that you guys need. Because again, if you guys don't succeed, I don't succeed, and I want to hear you guys' stories. So that's why I'm doing that. And I'm tired of people, buying stuff and not doing deals. And I want to change that. I want to make sure that anyone comes my dojo. I know I can't do everyone, but majority of people that come to the Mr. No Fluff dojo, I want to make sure that when they get out, they're champs, okay, and they have success. And that's the reason I was born, dude. I know why I'm here in life, and I want to make sure that happens. So, but let's go to the pros and cons, guys. Okay, the pros and the cons of the Mr. Investor Way. The pros is that I need no banks. I need credit, no credit, guys. Okay. Um, I'm gonna do what's called a non-recourse loan, and what that means is that if I default, the lender is only going to get the property, the collateral, not me personally. That can't come after me or my credit, okay? Because that's what we agreed on before we did that. All right. A lot of times, I have to put a very low down. Many times, I'm able to just take over the seller's payments, the house mortgage, even if they have a mortgage or not. Doesn't matter. We could do these deals. Okay, and I'll show you how to do it in my mother course. Okay, or in my blogs, guys. Go check it out, mrnofluff.com, or get the free book. All right. Um, Anyway, so the pros are significant. There's no banks, there's no lines, there's not the traditional way. You cut your own path and you go out there and make deals happen. Now, the cons are that, it's hard work, right? Because you in this equation, you go to the bank, then they pass you to a realtor, and the realtor does the work for you. Where in this situation right here, you're doing both. You're not only are you getting uh, financing, you're also getting the house, guys. So you're doing two things at one time, right? Uh, at the Mr. No Fluff way, it is harder because you got to ascertain more skills. You have to learn more skills. You have to become a better person. You got to grow. Okay, it's not like sitting into a realtor where they spend the money to go learn about real estate. You got to put the shit in your brain, dude, and it's hard. Okay, so it is hard because you have to learn more skills. Okay, what skills do you need? You need marketing, you need sales, you need negotiation, you need structures. How should you structure these deals so if a lead comes in, you got to learn how to do filtering. Okay, and and a lot of this stuff I've already packaged over 20, 21 years of experience being an entrepreneur. Never had a job and never borrowed any money. Had multiple businesses, been a landlord. I'm just packaging it to you and giving it to you like a franchise without charging you franchise fees, dude. You guys can get in and run with it. You know what I mean? So go check them out at Mr. No Fluff. So one of the biggest cons is that it's hard work, guys. It's not as simple as looking on the website, realtor.com or the MLS or, you know, any of these guys. You have to actually do work and you got to talk to people and you got to go look at the houses and you got to learn how to figure out what the repair cost is and what the price of the house is and build rapport with the seller and stuff envelopes and set up email follow-up systems and set up a website and actually answer your business phone and treat it like there's so many steps to do. But the other pro is that you make a lot of money, dude. can make a lot of money from this way because not that many people go this way. The other great thing about the pro is that it doesn't matter what kind of investor you are. If you're a landlord and you're doing rental houses, then you can do this strategy. This is a strategy I use because I'm a professional landlord. If you're a wholesaler, you can still use this strategy because there's a lot of investors that would love to buy properties like this strategy, and you can even get more money than sometimes you can on a cash deal, okay, on a deep discounted deal. If you're a fix and flipper and you love to work with your hands and fix these babies up, you can still use that. You can use that for the seller financing your home from the acquisition, the purchase price, all the way to the rehab money. Okay, there's a lot of ways. We don't have time to get into it. This video is already getting so long. How to do that, guys? Okay, so it doesn't matter what strategy of investor you are. If you're new, if this is your first time homeowner, these strategies will work. Okay, if you're a first time homeowner, you're just doing it to buy it for yourself. If you're a landlord, you're trying to do this so you don't have to go through the banks because maybe you hit your cap. Maybe they're not lending to you anymore. Maybe you don't like the banks like me. And one of the advantages is, again, the non-recourse loan is very, very powerful. I don't have time to get into it, but check out my blog. But simply put, guys, there's three ways to finance rental properties, and I think for me the best way to finance rental properties the right way is what I call the Mr. No-fluff way. I don't go to the banks. I don't refinance and over leverage my homes. I just work with home sellers, and no one's my boss. How many deals can I get? Well, it depends on how good my marketing is and how great I pick up the phone and how many deals I want to get. Okay, uh, how many deals I get has no contingency on the banks, has no contingency on my credit, has no contingency on my capital, has no contingency on anything. All I got to do is just educate myself and work my butt off, dude. If I'm willing to do that, I'm willing to pick up the phone and do the marketing and learn, then I can do as many deals as I want. I can do commercial, I can do residential, guys. So, guys, if you like this video, go to my website, download the book, and you know what to do. Click the like, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this video, and share this message to your friends and family. Let's change the world. And F a job, dude, and working in traffic and